Hello and welcome to the fourth edition of our podcast, Inventing the Future. Today we'll be discussing nanotechnology, lethal autonomous weapon systems, or LAWS, an acronym as fitting as it is dystopian, as well as the legitimacy of various fears surrounding where our society is headed. If you examine any advanced technology, you'll find it to be some blend of many fields. In the modern age, technology is sufficiently advanced that it often requires the interaction of knowledge from several domains to come to fruition. The section of inventology we looked at this week begins by examining what goes into the making of an individual who can find the interconnection of multiple domains to create an elusive solution. Pagan Kennedy finds an interesting contrast where people from outside a field are often the same people who are going to find that connection, yet these same people are likely to be ignored by more experienced professionals in that field. Inventology also analyzes how we create spaces that benefit this cross-domain thinking, which Pagan labels zones of permission. Pagan Kennedy goes further to show how the domains, such as a hospital, can act as problem finders, which, when properly connected to a zone of permission, can create an immensely valuable feedback loop for pushing rapid innovation. The power of this feedback loop, while immense, can sometimes lead to overly optimistic viewpoints on the future progress of humanity. The dot-com bubble was never going to end. The internet can grow forever. We landed on the moon just 8 years after committing to it. Surely we'd go on to colonize the solar system shortly thereafter, right? Our second text for analysis, a section from Society, Ethics, and Technology titled Neuroscience, Nanotechnology, and Ethics. Subtitle Promise and Peril by Ray Kurzweil provides what I argue is a similarly optimistic outlook on the future progress of technology. While I'm paraphrasing here, relevant excerpts include, "We will be able to produce virtually any product for pennies per pound, and we will be completing the reverse engineering of the human brain to reveal the software design of human intelligence." Just a few sentences later following that with the advent of nanotechnology, we will be able to keep our bodies and brains in a healthy, optimal state indefinitely, a claim that seems difficult to back when just a few lines prior we discussed not understanding the engineering of the human brain. Without understanding the algorithms, it's unsafe to assume that we can improve them. Ray Kurzweil extends this optimistic viewpoint further by introducing Robert Freitas and his hypothetical respirocytes. Ray presents respirocytes as something that is already in creation and deemed possible. However, a brief search online finds that Robert outlined a design for this concept in 1998, and it hasn't gone anywhere since then. Significant issues remain with regards to atomic scale motion, immune system reaction, and the toxicity of materials used in the robots. It's understandable that we might seek the comfort of envisioning a perfect techno-utopia in the future, but it's necessary that we stay grounded in our pursuit of such a future. However, not every source material that we examined took such an optimistic view on the progress of technology. Cross-domain thinking may lead to optimistic technologies such as robotic blood cells, but it also leads to dystopian technologies. While nanotechnology is typically utilized to refer to technologies which operate in the nanometer scale, it can more generally be applied to the miniaturization of technologies, something which is particularly terrifying when taken in conjunction with AI and cross-domain thinking. An infamous short film from 2017, referenced by the AI and Warfare section of the Reith Lecture from 2017. Short film from 2017, referenced in the AI and Warfare section of the Reith Lecture, labeled Slaughterbots, brings this terrifying reality to light. In short, the film presents the idea of a defense contractor presenting what they've designed, a miniaturized quadcopter drone equipped with a small shaped charge. These drones will be deployed in large autonomous swarms capable of working together to infiltrate closed-off areas, utilizing AI facial recognition to identify targets, then flying up to them and activating the shaped charge at point-blank range, immediately ending their life. The cross-domain thinking of robotic drone technology, AI, and weapons enables the potential to create such a device. Perhaps the most terrifying reality of this short film is that there aren't any technological limitations preventing the creation of such a weapon. We could begin manufacturing Slaughterbots today. From this perspective, we see the peril in neuroscience, nanotechnology, and ethics, Promise and Peril, which was perhaps hidden before. Another text from this week's section of Society, Ethics, and Technology, titled The Automation and Proliferation of Military Drones and the Protection of Civilians by Noel Sharkey, presents a variety of persuasive arguments against the use of AI in warfare, specifically targeted against UACV, or Unmanned Aerial Combat Vehicles. Noel discusses a variety of things, but most pertinent to me, Noel discusses how algorithms can function entirely outside of their designer's intention due to unforeseen circumstances. In programming, we say garbage in, garbage out, because if the program is given some input for which its function is not defined, the outcome becomes almost entirely unpredictable, and there's often no escape from this state beyond destruction of the process entirely. If I'm running a process on my computer that's just doing some calculations, and I need to kill that process for whatever reason, I can simply hit a hotkey and it's done. It happens. Destroying a rampaging process on a lethal autonomous weapon system might not be so simple. Perhaps worse than any individual technology connecting AI and warfare is the seemingly necessary slip into an arms race. If we take the moral high ground by refusing to develop AI weapons, perhaps our societal detractors won't be so moral. As a result of our moral desires, countless of our own people will be slaughtered, forced to go up against combat weapon systems that are more rapid and accurate than they could ever compete with, which is certainly an immoral outcome when compared with the context of sending our own drones to fight their drones. Referring back to the last podcast, we see once again how the wrongful intention principle paradoxically leads us to the belief that we need ever more lethal weaponry. And thus we arrive at the final written text for this podcast, Death by Technology. Death by Technology stands in contrast to our previous, overly optimistic view on the progress of technology. In it, John Cook argues that technology often evolves from nonviolent intentions into a military product. This argument would appear similarly weak to the overly optimistic arguments previously discussed. Sure, quadcopters might have started as a cool new way to film things and later were repurposed as a sort of guided artillery, but the flow of technology between peaceful and violent intentions tends to move from violence towards peace. Radar was invented for war, yet later became the basis of countless systems in peacetime. AM/FM radio, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, satellite all have a basis in radar. Computers and penicillin are also commonly cited examples of wartime innovations that later improved peacetime quality of life. The BBC Third Information Crisis episode for this week discusses what Naomi calls the box pew effect. In short, Naomi argues that access to information entices individualism in populations. She argues that the prevalence of books, particularly the Bible, enticed individualism in religion, which led to box pews in the churches, which reflected individual prayer. She further extends this argument to show how the extreme availability of information on the internet is leading to even greater individualism in society. I feel that Naomi is onto something, and the diverse opinion in the text we have discussed here kind of reflects that truth. Some individuals believe that AI and the advancement of technology is rapidly approaching towards a techno-utopia where life will be comfortable and continue for as long as an individual desires, while others look into the future and see a dystopian landscape where powerful individuals control the population through autonomous systems so capable that no human could ever hope to challenge them. These hopes and fears aren't just about the technology behind them. Given close examination, it's clear that the conversation which we really need to have is about moral, ethical, and philosophical consequences of the application and progress of these technologies, where Naomi's increased individualism as a result of the information available to us is helpful for people to individually develop their own systems of belief as a society as a result of the paradox of the wrongful intention principle. We have to work together, come together and define a globally shared moral framework, because our ability to navigate these ethical questions as a species will determine whether or not these interconnected innovations through cross-domain thinking lead to a utopic outcome or pose new existential risks for us.